Shalom, brothers and sisters. My name is Yeshiah Yisrael of the tribe of Dan of the nation of Israel, giving honor and praise to the Creator and the Maker of heaven and earth, the Most High Power. Brothers and sisters, I sit before you as an Israelite. Also, as a person, I want to state if needs to be shown something wrong, so be it. It's not a problem. This particular speech, if you will, it's not a PowerPoint or a lesson in that kind of regard. You know, you don't see no board up with Hebrew letters across it already and all of that. This is me speaking before the Shabbat comes in regards to certain things such as ideas and plans regarding the channels. Now, the channels we're talking about are the three channels, blessed be the Most High, that I operate. And that is Moreh Yeshiah Torah lessons, Moreh Yeshiah Hebrew lessons, and Moreh Yeshiah history lessons. All right. Those are the three channels that I'm operating. And I want to sit there and speak on concerning a matter. All right. The goal in each of those channels is an attempt to try to set some order on how a channel can be run, should be run. So that way people can pick what they would want to hear. If somebody wants to hear, say, just the Hebrew lessons, it's there. If they want to hear just history, it's there. If they want to hear just aspects of the Torah and teaching, which does, yes, lead into aspects of teaching history in part, it's there as well. All right. So that's why I set it up like that. You understand? Another particular thing to sit there and speak on concerning the kind of subject matter is, and I want to state this, my history as far as being on YouTube. It first started, brothers and sisters, back in 2014 when I was 34 years old. The first video that I put up on the channel, which is actually on this channel, is in regards to Hebrew and Kemet debate, part one. Then, like, the second video I put up was a Hebrew class about the Aleph and the Bet. All of that dating back to 2014. You understand? And I remember being friends with Israelite brothers, and some of them I'm still friends with online, such as a brother named Mikael Ben Israel. And he was telling me about a guy named Sal Showtime who runs a thing called Debate Talk for You. And so I was like, okay, cool. You know, the brother Mikael was telling me that I should get on it, that I should sit there and present what we are saying and everything like that. And I was like, yeah, all right, brother. All right. You know, and the conversations used to sit there and go to late at night at times, to like almost like 12:31 a.m. You understand? But what the brother Mikael Ben Israel did for me, giving thanks to the Most High for that, is inspire me to even branch outside of, you may say, my comfort zone on being my own channel. You understand? So that's something I give due respect for in that particular regard. Now, I wound up in the year 2015 going on the show on YouTube, all right, and presenting a matter called Kemet and Hebrew History, basically as told by an Israelite. And there's a part one, there's a part two. Both of them are still on the Debate Talk for You. If you were to type in Debate Talk for You, DT, the number 4, U, and right next to it, type in Moreh Yeshiah, you will begin to see about 6 or so videos, ranging from the Israelite and the Kemet matter to Israelites in history with Babylon and so forth and so on. All of that dating essentially before the timing of 2016. You understand? Now, also in the year 2015, I was introduced to a guy that was promoting videos, and he was mostly dealing with a lot of Israelites by the name of Basim. And what people didn't know or realize is that the guy Basim actually helped me be able to sit there and set up another particular separate channel, because I still was wondering, how do I set these channels up and so forth and so on. So I thank the Most High for that help and that assistance in that particular regard. When I was on the Basim channel, or global media as he calls it, it was very, very intense as far as the discussions that went down. I was introduced, but even before in person, around that same era, to a brother, an Israelite brother by who called himself Mighty Hebrew. You understand what I mean? And Mighty Hebrew and I used to go on the aspect of the Basim show and doing different kind of presentations. And one time it was actually between Mighty Hebrew, myself, a brother named Daniela, and a brother named Mikael Ben Israel. And we were all on the Basim show doing an actual presentation. You understand? All four of us. You know, I wound up making a lot of friends in the internet world or social media world. And I'm saying a lot, I mean a lot. You know, I remember times after that, after being introduced and already having a flow on Debate Talk for You, dating back to 2015. Then in addition with that, not instead of that, but in addition with that, being on the show with Basim and Global Media, and then getting into a show in regards to actual straight debates, like no holds barred kind of thing, and so forth and so on. You know, being raised up as an Israelite since my actually before my youth, I can almost say older infancy, since the age of 2, it was something that I used to see my teachers talk Shabbat after Shabbat after Shabbat after Shabbat after Shabbat. I explained my history in Israel on another channel, as far as Moreh Yeshiah explains his history in Israel from 1982 all the way to the year 2000. You understand? But after being on my own particular channel, and then going from that, in addition, not instead of, to the aspect of Debate Talk for You, then Global Media with the guy Basim, I winded up having already met the brother Daniela in person. And I was introduced into being able to go on Maccabees TV. Now, the first presentation I did on Maccabees TV dates to the summer of 2015. All right, so I'm 35 at that particular time, and it was a thing called Kashub the Danite. That's what he preferred to call me. That's the name I have for myself. Not a problem. Kashub the Danite explains Kemetic and Hebrew history that most don't talk about. That's like the name of the video in that ballpark. And people's told me that they shared that video in the debate groups on Facebook, you know, and so forth and so on. So I'm like, all right, cool. This thing is blowing up more than I had thought that it would. Eventually, now the year 2016 comes, my first book is released in April of that year. And it's this right here. Egypt Talking Writing. Did the Torah come from the culture of Tameri? And I wound up doing business, if you will, with the brother Joel Benjamin, who runs a bookstore, for those who know. And these names that I'm blowing up, it's not in no way disrespectful or anything like that. But these are things that most of these people I mentioned are already familiar with me. I'm certainly familiar with them. Many people listening to this already know who I'm talking about. What I'm doing in this is giving a rundown on my history as far as being on YouTube and the goals that I intend, most I willing, to sit there and have the channels that I'm operating to sit there and become a success. For those who may know, there is a sister that I don't want to say featured, but that I interviewed, and she gives me a lot of advice. You know, I call her name sparingly, you know, because she's not really on the YouTube thing like that. You know, when I interviewed her, I had to sit there and get permission from her exclusively on which channel to put it on, you know, that kind of thing. So I don't have a problem taking constructive criticism. If you notice the Hebrew classes that were done in the past, the lighting of it, like without the glare and a better marker and those things, when people send me aspects of how to work out a certain thing, I have no problem trying to, with the best of my ability, adjust it for edification purposes. Because for one, we're doing this in the name of the Most High. We're doing this for the people. Okay, so this is something we want to point out in that particular regard. It's not a my show, it's not a me, it's not a all eyes on Moreh Yeshiah kind of matter. Absolutely not. Daniela actually, when I was going to be on Maccabees TV, he actually had to sit there and convince me for me to even have my face shown. I was like, nah, leave the screen black. I don't want nobody looking at me, that kind of thing. But anyway, getting back to the point. So now I'm basically on 4 different channels. My own personal channel, as well as Debate Talk for You, as well as Maccabees TV, as well as Global Media. All right. So those are the 4 channels that I was operating on ever since the era going from 2014 to 2015. All right. So that's something we point out for edification purposes. Anybody who knows not to be haughty, the way I teach and speak, I give respect to my Hebrew teachers, my history teachers. You understand? Some of my Hebrew teachers, such as Moreh Yeshiah, my history teacher, may he rest in peace, Chief Simeon, And so when I began to see how the social media and the YouTube began to blow up, there's 2 things that happen. 2 things that happen. For those who know me, they know I'm what you call Old Testament based, or as some incorrectly call us, non-messianic. I happen to go and meet up with the Israelites that run GOCC, and their congregation based in New York. And I had to go and meet up with them because I had to drop off a book after one Shabbat that somebody done already paid for. They paid for the book already, so it was by default. I told the brother I will sit there and have your book after Shabbat. So when that Shabbat ended, I was over there to sit there and give the man the book that he had previously bought. Keeping your nose clean, you understand? So getting back into the situation, when I left from the camp that night there, and I was on my way going back home, all I heard from down the street was "Kashoot the donut," and I'm sitting up there like, "What?" And this is a Saturday night, over in the South Bronx, where the congregation where GOCC was, And so I'm looking like, who and what is calling me now when it's Saturday night? Everybody's outside, the weather is warm, and all I heard was "Kashoot the donut," and so it wasn't somebody that was next to me because they was trying to shout out to get my attention. You understand? So when I turned around, the brother came up and was like, hey, Shalom, brother, how you doing, man? I've been seeing you on Maccabees TV doing your thing, and so forth and so on. And I'm like, all right, thank you, Ak. And your name is, and then he told me his name and so forth and so on. So that was one thing that made me realize when you're on, let's say, the YouTube and social media, people watch you more than you may even think. They may not even comment on a video. They may not even click like on a video. They may not click dislike on a video, but people watch you. There are people, believe it or not, who watch a video but not signed into his or her own channel, maybe because they don't want to give you the view, but they're still watching. Believe that. People still watching. There are people who take your videos, put it onto their own flash drive, save it onto their own computer, whatever like that, and then share it with somebody else. Those things do happen. And those are some of the things that you have to deal with when you're presenting yourself in the aspect of being on social media. It's what it is. You understand? So, that's something that happened in that particular regard. Another time I was over in Queens as you go toward where Rosedale is at. For those who know, Rosedale, Queens is deep, deep, deep in Queens. Like there's no trains out there. You're going way down there by 225th Street, where there's a bus like maybe once every 45 minutes, perhaps. You understand? Something like that, like the down south version of New York and Queens. Anyway, I'm over and going toward that vicinity there, and then I hear somebody looking at me. Pardon me, I see somebody looking at me, and then I hear Kashu, you Kashu the Danak. I've been seeing you with Daniel Benjamin on Maccabees TV. And I'm sitting up there like, okay, all right. Like, brother, you live out here? I said, nah. But thank you, my brother, for you know, the respect or whatever like that. And the brother said that he's with the school in the camp called ISUPK. So my point of emphasizing that is this: everyone who knows me, I don't bite no tongue or cheek. I'm what you call an Old Testament based brother. That's I don't try to hide that. That's not something that you find out 3 videos later on. No. You understand? So once it comes down to that. So here you have it to where there's 2 people from who happen to be from messianic camps, as they deem themselves, as being as messianic, and they're both in different times, in different months, in different boroughs of New York, are up there saying Kashu, I've seen you online, and so forth and so on. That's very, 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 very salient. It teaches you 2 things. One, you already know. As the saying goes, keep your nose clean. You never know who's watching you. Of course, we don't fear man, as far as the Hebrew word pahad, which means to be afraid. But we do show yareh, which means the fear, like the respect. And when you are, and I say this and not to be harsh or anything like that, but when you are already deemed essentially as an Old Testament based brother, you're calling yourself that, and others are deeming you as quote unquote non-messianic, you already have more battles against yourself in social media than you may even think. For one, messianics are going to try to come at you. One. Secondly, you got the Kemetic people trying to come at you for believing in the Torah. You understand? So then on top of that, you got atheists who want to sit there and then try to come at you. And then you got the aspect of what I found to be quite deep, women coming at you. Do you think women can wear pants? Do you think polygyny is right? These kind of things. So when you already have excuse me, when you already have certain classes of people or certain groups, if you will, coming at you, sometimes negatively, sometimes in support, it teaches you to, one, as stated, keep your nose clean, and 2, keep your humility. There are times that I've posted certain things on Facebook or whatever, and people were saying, Moreh, you shouldn't be posting that, take that down. People know you as a Hebrew teacher. People know you for speaking online and writing books. You might be upset at a situation, so you're using your own wall on Facebook to sit there and, vent your emotions, and you are a human being. But you representing a higher power. You're not representing Moreh. You understand? You representing something that you're saying you're giving your teruma or your heave offering, the freewill offerings of your lips toward the Most High God. So with that being the case, and we already know that the Most High said that he's El Juana, a jealous God, you do not try to fit yourself and mingle yourself, be it your feelings or otherwise, into the work of the Most High King. You don't do that. You got to know how to separate the two. You understand? So this is something, to be pointed out for edification purposes. So time goes on. As stated, I'm already on 4 different channels, my own, as well as Global Media, Maccabees TV, and Debate Talk for you. You understand? So now, a brother is getting more attention, more inboxes, more telephone calls, and so forth and so on. And what essentially happened, in a nutshell, was it became bigger than I thought that it would. And I'm not really like one of the biggest people known out there. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like a Tariq Nasheed or, or any one of those other kind of peoples like that, but a person is known in his own right. And so in remaining and you're attempting to be right, this is something that I had to do. What I did when I was on the channel with the brother Uziel Levy is something that I had to do. I had to apologize because of something that I voluntarily said against a man. The way in which I did that, and this is not saying a second apology, because when I did it before, it was from the heart. So it's not as if a second apology, but it's something that I had to do. When you see something has gone awry or something that you've done has gone wrong, you must make amends. That's before the Most High God. So that's why when my eyes was open to be able to see that a brother did something incorrect, this brother being myself, it was the right thing for me to do. And in the apology video that I did on the particular channel, Uziel Levy, I told him I had no problem with it being uploaded because I had no problem in 2016 when I was on Maccabees TV taking shots and disrespecting a man. So now when you begin to sit there and see that you was in the wrong, it's only the correct thing, the humility thing, the nice thing, if you will, to sit there and offer your apology. The only reason why I did it online is because when I defamed a man, it was done online. There were times in which I offended my teachers and I had to sit there and make a public apology. You understand? It wasn't on the internet, but just weights and balances. So therefore, if I disrespected a brother online, it's only online that I can sit there and see where or say that I apologize to the man. And I don't bite no tongue in cheek in that. I don't regret doing that. It was from the heart, you understand, and so forth and so on. For those who may know or been following, I've stayed on my channel. Like Moreh Yeshiah Hebrew lessons, Moreh Yeshiah Torah classes, Moreh Yeshiah history lessons. I haven't really been so much on the global media or not too much on debate talk for you because the brother Sal, he has breaks like ever so couple of months. And so that's not something I consistently was doing. But I did get advice about how to run a video, how to sit there and post things online from the brother Sal. You understand? Shout out to that brother for even buying the book that I wrote. But getting back into the point, I'm gonna explain about the book matter and the situations with that in a second. The matter of being called a Moreh and being seen as such, people in different places were calling me that. When I say different places, I mean different camps, different states, and so forth and so on. Do you understand? So, as we already know, the higher you become, the more your humility is supposed to increase. So, taking it back as to the apology video that I've done, I had, as stated, no qualms about it, you know, and that's what it was as far as it goes with that. Now, another situation, brothers and sisters, to sit there and talk about is this. In this book here, I want to read something out of the book of Proverbs. All right? We are in the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, if you will. Proverbs chapter 10, and we're going to go to verse 4. All right? And it says this: He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich. So we want to sit there and have it being presented, the hand of the diligent makes rich. And that's why I had no problem when I had the time and the opportunity when my schedule was free to make videos, to do videos, and attempt to post videos for, as stated, edification purposes. Because it was something that I was hoping would have been consistent. You understand? Once it comes down to that particular aspect. And seems how now I'm dealing with the aspect on my own particular channel more so. That's something that I want to take and move on in that particular regard. You understand? For those who may know, I've been doing classes on my particular channel here, essentially about the book of Exodus, There will be one on this channel at 7:30 p.m. All right. It's now currently 6:50, 6:54. So before 7:30, I'm gonna stop yapping, quote unquote, and get into a lesson itself. And that is based upon the aspect of henotheism. I'm going to do a lesson on that. And then later on, there will be a lesson on the channel in regards to the book of Exodus, chapter 10 to chapter 13. One of the things I like to do, brothers and sisters, is try to go in depth as much as possible with certain things. You understand? To try to sit there and, as it says, line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little and there a little. So if we can take that, brothers and sisters, I didn't have a problem citing secular sources or 2 and 3 sources to sit there and to try to validate a point that I was trying to drive home. I had no problem doing that. Here a little, there a little. You understand? So that's something I want to point out in that particular regard. Now, speaking in regards, brothers and sisters, to the books that I wrote, the first book that I wrote was released in April of 2016. The second book I wrote was released in September of 2016. And the last book, which is the third book that I wrote, was released this year. Okay? Brothers and sisters, the books we're talking about, the covers might be different from those who bought it in the past. Same content, but just change the cover. Is this here? This is a book you can get online as have been advertised. All right? That's the first book. Second book is this here. Deuteronomy 28, 15 to 68, the condition of the blacks. This has been advertised even on Maccabees TV as well as on Debate Talk for You. All right? Then the third book, which is the last one, but hopefully, well, at least, but certainly not last. I intend to write more, but is this one here. Old Testament Israelites Respond to Messianic Israelites. Now, the one that people seem to like the most is this one right here. But let me explain something that happens when you write a book. When, and I say this in no disrespect, when you take your face from just being on Facebook to putting your book on a face, your mentality changes. Having been already, though not currently, a teacher within a college, community college, but I taught there for a couple of semesters, and then becoming a published author, your mentality changes about how presentations are done, how things are done, how things could be done or should be done, or so forth and so on. You understand? There was nothing wrong with taking quote unquote secular education, all right, and then trying to sit there and help bring the knowledge to your people. And that's what I did in these kind of books, especially in this one right here in chapter number 2. Chapter number 2 called From Sumer to America. All right. But there's a lot of external references in that chapter right there. But getting back to the point, brothers and sisters, concerning this. When you take your face from off of being only on Facebook to putting your face on a book, your mentality changes. You know, the way you move about in scholastic aspects changes. You understand? And so everybody knows, though, they who, not to sound haughty, who want to stay or rely solely on meme scholarship, you can't make a book with memes because a meme generally doesn't have a bibliography. You understand? Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Like in this book right here, right? You got acknowledgments. All right. Also, advertisements in the back. Also, you have bibliography, which covers like 2 pages or so. So the point I'm saying is when you realize that scholarship, and a scholar really only is a student. When you look up the word scholar, really means student. All right. When you get what a scholarship in college, you are getting advanced to be a student in that particular college. That's what scholar definition truly is, a student. And you never stop being a student, regardless of how many titles is placed upon you, such as Moreh and smart and all this other kind of titles that have been given to a brother. You're still a student regardless. Like I'm still learning how to better my YouTube channel. You understand? Now, some of the goals I intend to have is to basically get what you call that whiteboard thing where you can write what you're talking about, live stream and everything like that, and then erase it. So that way the quality of the Hebrew class can become better. You understand? I bought new lights so that way the glare won't be on the word when I'm trying to sit there and write a word and so forth and so on. In the Hebrew classes, I essentially now put the words up there and then explain from that particular point because we're up to now come next week up to lesson 40, so we're kind of like advanced in that particular regard, but all the lessons are on there for those who want to go all the way back to the Aleph and Bet. It's still on the same channel called Moreh Yeshiah Hebrew Lessons. There's no fee for those classes. It's free of charge. All right, giving back to the people what the Most High allowed me to sit under my teachers and that I got for free. The books that I wrote, they're not free. Um, but I try to price them reasonably for economic purposes. All right. Some of the other goals that I have is trying to, on Monday nights, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Friday night, Saturday night, to have videos uploaded those nights on the channels on different subjects. Monday night on Moreh Yeshiah Torah lessons, whatever the Torah portion that I'm up to. I'm not following any standard calendar, but I am following the seed road order portions. Even though most camps now are in the book of Numbers, I'm still dealing with the book of Exodus, all right? But it's still there for those who care for such, all right? Now, that's Monday night. Tuesday night, we have the Hebrew class, all right? Going generally no longer than 30 minutes now, for the most part. Why? Because people are telling me while giving me constructive criticism and advice that the longer the video, the attention span of many people goes away faster. So you want to sit there and keep the people's attention. You can't perhaps always give a 2-hour class because when they see the length of time, like I ain't gonna watch it. So you do want people to learn, but you don't want people to just not trying to be disrespectful, a and I hate to have to say it, couch potato watcher on YouTube. That is to say, when I present a lesson, my goal is to hopefully, if a person is interested, to get their pen and pad to write your notes. I don't present it, and it's not about me, but I don't present it in the aspect of, okay, that was nice, next video. I want you to learn something out of that. If I am considered, and I always call myself a student, but if there are those saying that a brother is a moreh, if a teacher has his or her students, and a teacher still acknowledges his or her teachers, plural, morim, morot. You understand? So this is something we want to point out for edification purposes in that particular regard. When a person is teaching something and is not being receptive or accepted, or there's people who's not being receptive to it, it's kind of a turnoff. You understand? So, like when a person is in high school or so, and I've been guilty of it as a high school student, and you don't go to the class that the teacher is teaching, you don't respect that teacher. That's just what it is. So there are those who are going to like what you present, and there are those who are going to not like what you present. You understand? So that's something we want to point out in that particular regard. You understand? And so now we are able to use the aspect of the internet, getting it out to a wider and a greater mass of people. So be it. It's what it is. I'm thankful to the Most High for such. Then you have Wednesday night. That's also Torah class done on the channel. Then there's Thursday night, which is the history class. Then, no, not Thursday night, sorry, Friday night, which is also history and Torah class. Then Saturday night is just lectures, speeches, or so forth and so on. So let me recap and state the goals concerning the 3 channels that a brother is running, giving thanks to the Most High. Monday night, Torah class. Tuesday night, Hebrew class. Wednesday night, Torah class continued. Thursday night, no class. No. And Friday night, Torah class as well as history class. So there would be 2 different videos set up for Friday night, which is the Shabbat. All right. And then on Saturday night after Shabbat, there'll also be classes on a particular channel. For those who subscribe to the channel, you will begin to see the links come through or the notifications that a brother is going live or so forth and so on. So essentially the goal in this particular video tonight, right now, that I'm doing right now, is 3 things. 1, to state what days a brother will be going live on. We're going to always try to shoot for 7:30 p.m. Why? Because people traveling from school or work, so they may need time to get home. So that's why I set it up for 7:30 in that particular regard. All right. So Monday night, the Torah class with that. Tuesday night, the Hebrew class. Wednesday night, the Torah class. Thursday night, no class. Friday night, history class, as well as Torah class. And Saturday night, we'll do lessons, but we'll play it by ear on a particular subject. All right. So, and also Sunday night, no class, because that's when I have to get ready for the week, such as getting clothes, laundry, those kind of things. Food together, shopping, those kind of things. So that's why on Sunday, I don't do classes in that particular regard. All right. That was one reason why this video is made. The other reason is, as I stated when I made the apology video from the heart to the brother Uziel Levi, I wanted, as stated in here, I didn't want to make any more PowerPoints or videos or Hebrew classes until I squared that away with my brother that was eating at my conscience after a while. I couldn't sit there and showboat and be known and called and respected as Moreh, knowing good and well that I have brothers and friends in the camp there. And they're looking at me a certain way because I'm trying to ignore in ego what I said to offend a brother. As I stated inside the apology video, I did not want to sit there and make any more videos teaching on anything until I cleared the air with the brother. That serious. So if you look at the dates and when videos would have been posted, for those who want to go in like that, you will see that it ceased at a point and then started again. All right, so, and it started again after I made the apology video and was more calmer to be able to show my face in front of the house of Israel again. You understand? And then the third reason why this is made, brothers and sisters, is, and I'm not going to sit here in front about it, book promotion. This book right here, one more time. You can get this book online. Deuteronomy 28:15-68, The Condition of the Blacks. All right, this sells for $20. You can get This book here, Egypt Talking Writing, did the Torah come from the culture of Tameri? This sells online for $20. All right? And this book here, Old Testament Israelites Respond to Messianic Israelites. This sells online for $30. But for those who want it not on Amazon, I'll sell it to you for $20. All right? So that third book, in regards to why we are Old Testament based, sells on Amazon online for $30. However, for those who want it mailed by me personally, it's $20. All right, as explained inside the video about the book promotion. I know good and well, everyone is not going to agree with what's being presented. Such is life. You understand? And when you're doing something in regards to the Most High, some will like it, some will not. The most important thing is to make sure that you're doing what you can do so it can be liked by the Most High. You understand? So that's something I want to point out in that regard. Shalom.